Hey, what's up movers? This is Axel today, and today we're going to be crushing an arm workout. So I just got warmed up upstairs. I'm ready to jump into this workout. I'm going to be starting off this workout with all triceps and then move into all bicep movements. Starting off with a nice back supported tricep extension. So for this exercise, grab a weight that you can warm up with. It feels relatively light. Back against the machine. Bring the weight down and hold your elbows fixed while you extend the weight down for a contraction. I want to keep that process pretty repetitive with the elbows in a very fixed position here. And for the purpose of these sets, we're going to be working with a tempo of about 2 seconds on the way down and 2 seconds on the way up with a nice contraction, nice squeeze at the bottom there. Nice, light, easy warm-up set. Then we're going to up the weight, get into our first working set. So I like using a back-supported tricep extension because it allows you to really isolate the tricep without having to feel like you're leaning over the weight and recruiting any front delt or any chest. So it can be a fun way to kick off a workout, really blow out the tricep. Then we're going to work into some more explosive kind of movements and get that total development going. I'm ready to jump into the first working set here. Nice and heavy, 8 reps there. Definitely feel the burn. Start getting the blood flow into the muscle, and we're gonna keep at this weight and try to work for 8 reps in the next set as well. So I don't know about you guys, but for me, arm day is one of my favorite days of training, just because of the pump. It sounds kind of ridiculous, but I love the way it looks. I love the way it feels. You walk out of the gym looking like you're Superman, or at least I try to be. Not quite there yet, but that's the goal. Walk out of the gym with absolute cannons on your arms. Jumping into set 2 here. Same kind of thing, elbows fixed, 2 second tempo on your reps here. Training face is already coming out, which means I know I'm working. No, it's getting hard. That's a good thing when you start off your workout in a way where you feel like you're already exhausted after set 2, so should be a fun one. Gearing up for set 3, follow with me here and kind of pay attention to my breathing patterns through each rep. As I go through the rep, I'm going to be exhaling on the way down or on the concentric phase of the movement, and then taking my inhale on the way back up or the eccentric phase of the movement. And then repeating, so it should follow kind of like that, and that's a good way to follow for most all of your exercises, most all of your routines, whether it's chest, triceps, legs, whatever it is. On the explosive, on the pushing phase of the movement, make sure you're breathing out, and that's true most all the time you're lifting. And you can kind of let your breath set the tempo for sometimes some exercises. So however it feels appropriate to kind of exhale can set the tempo for how quickly you do the reps and how quickly you control the weight on the eccentric phase of the movement. So any kind of tricep extension exercise is going to work really both heads of the tricep here, being the short and the long head. But for the purpose of kind of using a straight bar or fairly straight bar, the back extended, really focusing on that long head or the back side of the tricep here especially on this phase of the movement, but getting that nice squeeze, and that's where you can get the short head contraction on that contraction movement to get that full total tricep development. But building the long head of the tricep is essential to building an impressive physique because it is the larger muscle group, and therefore when you build it, you create a bigger arm more easily. And I think a lot of people definitely focus maybe more on the short head of the tricep. And it's not to say that you don't want to focus on it at all, but it's good to give all of the tricep attention it needs to develop that total 3D complex look that you're looking for. Moving into set 4 here. Tricep extension movement, you can use different grips to target various areas of the tricep. So for the purpose of what I'm doing here, I'm using kind of a usual V-bar or easy kind of curl bar to get that total development. However, if you choose to use a rope, you can get more of a twist at the end and work the short side. If you go underhand grip on it like so and extend it, you can isolate more of the longer head of the tricep. So I'm about to start the last set of this exercise. And for this set, we're gonna use a drop set movement. With a drop set, I'm gonna complete my full 8 reps with this weight and then drop the weight by about 50% of the weight that you're currently using to get an extra amount of reps on top of that. And I'm going for about 8 reps on the first set and then drop and get another 8. Quickly dropping the weight here. Gonna try to grind out another 8 reps here. On that drop set, it felt really light when I first started moving the weights again. But as the set progressed and as I kept doing more and more reps, it got increasingly more difficult. Towards the end, it should be an absolute burn and your triceps should be on fire. To summarize this movement, I'm gonna go over a couple of the core principles on how to do it properly and get the most kind of out of this exercise. You want your feet together, core stabilized, back against the pad here. And notice my elbows stayed in the fixed position and they were about 2 to 3 inches off my body and slightly forward. So almost as if you took a towel, like a gym towel, and rolled it up, you could put it in there and it would just stay in between there. That's something that you can incorporate if you haven't done this exercise before to assist that process. And then I'm bringing my hands down closer to my feet and squeezing my tricep, the bottom of that movement, controlling it on the way up, getting a full nice stretch and repeating that process. And it's important to get not just the contraction, but the stretch back on the way up for that full development. So jumping into the second exercise here, we're gonna be hitting a tricep dip exercise. And for the purpose of this movement, we're gonna be focusing on getting nice explosive motion, create that nice athletic kind of build, but then controlling it on the way back down of the movement or the eccentric phase of the movement. So I'm gonna jump into my first set here. Grab a weight that's nice and heavy, but not too heavy, and make sure that something where you keep your shoulders fixed, much like in the last exercise, keeping your elbows fixed. And then I'm gonna be driving the weight down, controlling it up, getting a little more explosive as I work into the set. So follow me through this. Nice good 12 reps there. My triceps are definitely fatigued right now, but I'm gonna move up in weight and try to work into something where we get closer to 6 to 8 reps. So on this tricep exercise machine here, you can see there's a narrow grip, or I could rotate it out wide for a wide grip here on both arms. Right now I'm using the narrow grip just because I feel like it's easier for me personally to isolate my triceps and not recruit the chest in the movement. So if you're doing a chest exercise, I typically find dips wider helps allow you to build the chest, but since we're working arms today, want it nice and narrow, focus in on those triceps, jumping into set 2 here, a little heavier, get explosive with it. When I breathe out, it almost sounds like an air gun going like that. That can help generate the extra force, the extra power, really get the start of that movement going the right way. If you want to pump a little extra blood into your triceps in between sets, sometimes what you can do is just take your arm, grab with your hand the back of your neck and kind of stretch your tricep, and use the other arm to just massage it. And that'll bring some extra blood in there. That's something that can be kind of fun to use to get a pretty insane pump, as well as just get a nice stretch on the muscle while you're resting. Definitely makes an exercise a little more difficult, so if you do that, know that you might not be able to use the same amount of weight that you normally would, or maybe have to employ a slightly longer rest time in between sets. I'm working with shorter rest time here, so we're looking at anywhere from 45 seconds to even 1 minute 15 seconds rest time, but nothing overly long. So every time I'm hitting an exercise, I'm only staying there for maybe a total of 4 to 5 minutes for the entire duration of that exercise until we move on to the next thing. So last set here, let's get it here, last set, best set. That was awesome. Let's move on to the next exercise. So at this point, we're gonna be moving into our last exercise for triceps. So what you wanna do is get your feet planted about hip width apart, get in kind of a squat-esque position with a bent at the hips, but keeping your back nice and flat. What I'm gonna do is hold the barbell behind my knees and then bring the weight back, squeezing with my tricep, and then letting it come back until it touches right kind of behind your knee. So I'm gonna work into my first working set so you can see what that looks like. Hands, I like to say you can play around with the width, but somewhere kind of right around shoulder width is where I find it gives the best kind of feeling, the best kind of contraction for me. Kind of looks like a weird exercise, but it gives a nasty pump. I really like this one. And when you kind of stand up from it, right now I have kind of blood rush, and the blood kind of felt like it was in my muscles and also out of my head from bending over. So be careful when you stand up. Maybe don't stand up as quickly as I did there, but it's certainly an exercise that can develop a lot of definition within your tricep in all 3 really heads of the tricep. So focus on that contraction, bringing it back down. Whew, it gets after you. I'm always sipping on a water bottle throughout my entire workout. It's kind of my routine, walking into the gym with my gym bag. I fill up my water bottle, and then partway through my workout, I put BCAAs into my water to drink it throughout. And I recommend that that's something that you try to keep your muscles hydrated and keep yourself hydrated and safe. Giving myself here about 30 more seconds rest time, then jumping into set 2. If I could get this cap back on, that'd be great. There we go. That's what point you want to get to. You want to get to a point where your arms are so pumped that you can't even screw the cap back on your water bottle. So you're clumsy. That's when you know it's working out the muscles properly. All right, jump on into the third set of tricep exercises with me here. This is the last set of tricep exercises, so give it your all. Make sure you have a great set, and then we're gonna jump into bicep training. So notice for this exercise how it looked like my body was in a position that almost looked kind of like a ski tuck here. And I was using the back of my knees at the stop for the barbell. So that gives you an idea of where the full range of motion is. You want to bring the weight all the way back until your arm is fully extended and you can't bend any further because your elbow is locked out. And then let it come back into your body until the barbell lightly touches kind of the bend in the back of your knees. Now it's time to crush some biceps. All right, so now we're gonna be jumping into our first set of exercises for biceps, starting off with a rope hammer curl. So I'm gonna do first a warm-up set to kind of show how the motion should look and then jump into the working sets here. I like bringing my thumbs on top of the weights here and then pulling the weight up, and I'm standing several feet back from the weight stack, not on top of it like some people do with this rope hammer curl, and I like standing away so you can get a nice stretch. So now when I bring the weight up, I'm squeezing and turning out with my wrist. The palms of my hands through this motion will slightly turn up and try to face the ceiling. That's gonna be hard to do with a rope, but you wanna try to exaggerate that motion without doing it. So when you grab the weight and do it, you might only get a slight turn. That'll develop not only the brachialis muscle, or this muscle in between your bicep and tricep, but also attack some of the outer head of the bicep and even create some peak development. So I'm gonna jump into this first warm-up set here. Just get about 10 to 15 light reps, and then we're gonna increase the weight and start working. Nice full stretch, allowing the weight come all the way down until my elbows are fully extended. Bringing it up, squeezing, half-second squeeze approximately, back down. Keep focusing on the breathing with me, exhaling on the way up. It may sound kind of silly, but sometimes it helps to look down, especially when training biceps, and watch your bicep move throughout the phase of the movement. And that helps build the mind-muscle connection that you need to get more blood flow, to get more muscle breakdown, to make sure that you hold the form needed for maximum growth. So sometimes you'll see me looking down at myself, and it's only partially because I'm vain, but really the reality of it is I'm doing that so I can check my form and make sure I establish that mind-muscle connection, which is absolutely essential for building large biceps. One thing that kind of drives me crazy about going to different gyms is when you work on cable machines, you never know exactly how heavy a weight is going to be. So 60 pounds on one cable machine may be totally different feeling than 60 pounds on another one. And that's so contrary to how you kind of think it works. You think that 60 pounds is 60 pounds, but that's just not the way it works on machines. And that can be the beauty of training with free weights, is when you grab a 30-pound weight, it's always 30 pounds. Gravity doesn't change that. So if you ever go to a gym where you don't totally know the lay of the land, make sure before you start each set that you play around with the weight and feel a weight that feels like it will be appropriate for doing the amount of reps that you're trying to target. So for the purpose of this exercise, I'm going for 10 reps. Nice simple exercise here with simple rep scheme. Shoulder blades are down and back, by the way. This is key to a lot of lifts, not just biceps, chest, shoulders, even hitting squats. Making sure that your scapula is retracted back, nice and stabilized, allows you to focus and isolate whatever muscle you're training a lot better. Already got a burn going. It's only one set down. We got quite a few more, so I'm looking forward to it. Starting my second set out of 4 of 10 reps here. So the purpose of hitting an exercise like this is to focus on building your forearm and your brachialis muscle, which is a very important muscle for creating a thicker arm, not just a bigger peak this way, but a wider arm this way. So it gives you that three-dimensional look. So you don't look good just standing from the front on, but also from the side. So again, as we jump into set 3, make sure you keep your thumbs on top in that detonator-esque grip, as if you're about to press a button and blow something up. Stepping away, full stretch, squeezing. Let's pump through the set. Alrighty, last set of 10 here. Let's drive this one home with the best set. Totally out of breath right now, but just finished off great 4 sets, worked the brachialis, started getting the bicep nice and warm. Now we're gonna work into a movement where we isolate that bicep, really focus on that peak development. Already working into our next exercise here, we're gonna be working on a preacher curl machine. This is a great exercise for developing the inner and peak head of that bicep. Really giving it that nice full look, kind of classic lift. Load up a weight that you can do anywhere from 8 to 15 reps. And at this point in the workout, since you're pre-fatigued, you might not know exactly where you land. So just grab the weight, start pumping it out, and try to go till failure here. For this exercise, make sure you focus on extending all the way down and then bringing the weight up, squeezing at the peak, getting that full contraction, and then just repeating that process. As you can notice, a common theme throughout this entire workout is working on that nice stretch and then full contraction, letting the muscle kind of develop that stretch and burn thing. And I really like working biceps and triceps together in a workout because as you contract one, you're stretching another. So as I flex my bicep or do an exercise for it, when I get to the top, my tricep is fully stretched here. And the same is true when I do a tricep exercise and extend my elbow, squeezing my tricep. My bicep is in a fully stretched position. So you get these contrasting muscles that stretch each other when the other one is being worked. That creates for a lot of growth, really big pump, and a lot of fun. Working into our second out of 4 sets here. I really like using machines like the preacher curl machine because this pad here keeps your elbows fixed. So you don't have to worry, like when you do another curl, about keeping your elbows fixed or worrying about the swinging of your shoulder or anything like that. It sets everything into place for you. So you can really just focus on the squeezing of the moment and squeezing through the entire movement. And really just focus on developing that mind-muscle connection with your bicep, literally asking yourself to grow, to get stronger, to bring blood to it. It sounds kind of crazy, but this stuff actually works, and there's a lot of science behind developing a mind-muscle connection, a lot of science behind why that allows for more muscle growth. And I know it sounds kind of totally out there, but it really does work. So to have a little variance in this exercise, we did the first 2 sets on an easy curl bar grip with the neutral grip, with the grip kind of standard width apart. For the last 2 sets of this movement, we're gonna move the hands close. So to have a little variance in this exercise, we did the first 2 sets on an easy curl bar grip with the neutral grip, with the grip kind of standard width apart. For the last 2 sets of this movement, we're gonna move the hands close together, get a narrower grip, and that's gonna move the focus onto a little bit more of the outer head of the bicep. So we're gonna focus on getting more development here. Sick burn. Feels really, really good. Got one more set here and then one quick exercise with just one last set. So we're getting close to the end of the workout. This is the time to dig deep, really go in, looking for that pain, looking for that burn in the bicep, and then just totally chase it, try to create all that growth that you can. Last set here, let's get it. We're gonna put these weights away and then work into one last exercise before we cap off this workout. So I'm a physique competitor, which means when I'm at the gym, I'm oftentimes looking at the mirror, kind of practicing my physique kind of movements. And one thing that's kind of funny about it is physique competitors, you'll typically find, get so into practicing their movements, they get so into that, when they go out and take pictures with their friends and everyone's lined up, and normally people are standing there casually holding someone's shoulder or something, there's always the physique guy who's me, who's on the end of the picture, like cheesing it like this. I just think that's kind of something funny to share with you guys. So for the last exercise of our workout, we're gonna jump into a triple drop set of 2-arm dumbbell curls. We hit the rope hammer curl, we hit the preacher curl. We're gonna just do one set, drop it all the way down, finish strong. You can do this along a rack, which is called running the rack, where you do the weights and then place them down, then grab them off the rack. But for the purpose, I just grab the weights. They're at my feet here. I'm gonna do the reps, drop it, grab the next one with no rest time. Keeping, for the purpose of this exercise, our palms facing up towards the ceiling the entire time. As I bring the weight up, I'm just gonna keep it there and keep pumping out the reps until failure and then drop. It's a great way to make lightweight feel really heavy. And as I go through the drop set, I'm dropping by roughly 25% of the weight that I'm using every single time, just for 3 sets there. Great way to finish off a workout, cap it off. I really had a fun time working out with you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. Stay tuned for more to follow.